lockup. Instead, it's wet. They have no room. And that's the only way so far found to what he's doing. And I even asked him, Richard will be my witness. I said, how do you know that you're finding dead center?
Right.
And he said,
so he takes it to his machine?
No. He takes dowel pins and then he puts a factory housing on top of it. And he's knocked out the rest of the shit around.
Yeah.
He indicates that center.
Yeah, the centering tool based off
the centering tool is a factory housing.
Right.
Or was. Right. Once he's got that bore indicated X and Y, then he'll go X amount over and press in a sleeve. That's what he does.
Well, that's fixing it. That's fine, but what I'm saying is our own billet fucking plate, and we center it the fuck ourselves.
I understand that, but if you're all of a sudden set a world record, or better yet, I all of a sudden set a world record, and you got deep drug money in your pockets, and you want to go just as fast, what do? He's got that, I'm going to have that.
Right, so we're trying to provide that.
Okay?
But what I'm saying is, they're buying bad parts, and they're willing to pay as much.
Not in the study.
Pre-studded plates.
Dude. And why did the studs are only, at 10,000?
No, because you have bolts there that they pin.
Yeah, but those bolts,
ridiculous size.
when it goes through the rotor housing, they go like this.
Loose.
Very loose.
Right.
In fact, the assholes that make studs in the instructions, because I've done 2 engines that they brought me a set of studs, and the instructions say make sure that they have a minimum of 15 thousandths of an inch clearance. Then why stud it?
Yeah. I mean, you also say that the engine needs to move and flex, right? Not be held rigid.
That's
your theory.
That's
your
the way
philosophy,
I build it,
yeah.
and they work for me.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, like to play the devil's advocate, when you make 1,000 horsepower of a turbo motor, then we can compare motors, because right now they've got 12. We have
0.
none. Right. So it's hard for us to be heard, or me to even open my mouth. But all this shit needs to be tried. If we have to wait till we have $1 million machine, I guess we'll never worry about trying. But if we have like some piece of shit $20,000 machine that could be our entry level shit, that we can make a plate and realize how critical or how fucking miles away we are from the perfect dowel, whatever, that critical machining. But all that I see is like Edgar charges, or someone like him that has his capability charges X. Let's say it's $1,000 per plate or per part, or whatever it is. With a $10,000 to $20,000 CNC, a VF2, 3, or 4, used, new, whatever, doesn't matter. You can make that plate out of billet with no fucking holes in it. And you can give it to him, and he can make it perfect, like he already does for those people. So how can he make it perfect on a cheap machine, like a machine not as expensive as the actual? That doesn't make any sense to me, you know what I mean? In my mind, that in billet could be made with less than $20,000, like 2 or 3 a day. Those, not cast.
I don't think he
That's
makes
it.
it perfect. I think he might get them
Good enough.
a lot better.
Good enough.
Than
That's what I'm saying.
what they are.
Good enough. Like good enough. Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if that shit could be made, and the only problem is you can't center those 2 fucking holes. All right, look here, we've got 10 fucking 100 blanks.
And
they're just missing the holes.
It wasn't bullshit that he was saying. He actually pulled out his cell phone and pulled up the conversations and said, "Read it."
It's what it is. Like, he told a story. Like, everybody has a story. Yeah, but if you got facts in your story, bro, that's not so much of a story. That's what it fucking really is, and that's why I listened to. And I saw what I saw, and I saw the machinery that I saw, and I didn't see his accounting books, but he is capable and ready to make all these shits. He doesn't know what the fuck to do. I mean, like,
he's a good machinist. You do anything long enough, you get good at it.
That's not the point, man. The point is to make money. We only want a couple parts. That's the difference between us and him. I want to make a group of parts. I'm not open for suggestion like, oh, now that we have the machine, let's make doorknobs. Let's fucking try this. Listen, it's about money. This one seems really fucking a potential. Run with that. These losers are making money every day selling re-machinable, necessary machinable fucking parts that come in your color anodizing and your name with your little etching. Are you serious? Who's making one little shitty billet part? I mean, wow, bro.
I agree.
It doesn't take a $100,000 machine to make these plates. Make us a plastic mold that then we could get a silicate cast. Even if it costs 10 grand, you're gonna sit there and make $4,300 every fucking piece you put a fucking internal pump in. There's the money. So let's get that. It's all the same fucking machine. Whether we want to make a lower intake, a throttle body, a spacer, a bell housing adapter, a fucking aluminum fucking bracket for something. Any of that shit could all be milled out of that shit. If you want to say precision, then we mill it to where we can.
Right, let me say something. Precision is ultimately important, but it also, you have to take into consideration how much time it takes you to get, okay? My precision was one plate that I had done, that I had trued the head, went through it. I used that plate as a guide for my drill, and I would drill the other ones, Then I passed a reamer. You were here.
I remember, yeah. You were telling me. I got it on video, I think.
Those go like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And to pull them out, they were
It's like a suction. Pop.
any one of them.
And you
But it took me days to do that.
So a machine won't.
Days.
What's the point?
Anything can be done with that machine, but it just takes time. If you get a machine that's really accurate, it can spit it out.
Department is not to scrutinize the machine. Our department is to figure out how the fuck we touch one soon. This guy's there right now. He can't do fucking nothing for us because of our position in life. So we, all of us, need to get a machine, not rented by the part, not leased by the fucking program. We need to buy one.
Well, that's how he got started. He just fucking put down.
That's all I'm saying. He didn't buy $1 million machine. You know,
nothing that he's got there. I think the best machine he's got to get there is the EDM.
We need one. Yeah, like if you were like if he was smart, he'd just sell seals and he just do nothing the fuck else. And he just live that money and enjoy his family and the little bit of time that everyone has on earth that seems like never ending. Well, I like machine, but the only machine we need is one. That's CNC. That's it. Everything else is so expensive that we can't buy it, so we don't need to worry about it. Anything under $50,000, we're gonna get back in less than 6 months if we get off our asses. Because the rest of the world in 1 year will have billet everything, like you know. You've seen fucking Racing Bee go out of extinction, selling a part for 20 years that was perfectly good because they couldn't accessorize to a different material. Bro, don't become another technological material dinosaur. Because if they come out of fucking the next rotor housings are out of wood, and we're against wood, the rest of the world's gonna make millions. Whatever the fuck they say. On the other hand, we really know about this engine, don't we? We know a little bit more than the rest of the world knows about the engine, but we're just staying quiet. Like, yeah, we could rev her for 12,000 for 30 hours, but we're not gonna do nothing with that. We could, you know, like that's ridiculous, bro. Where the fuck am I? Where the fuck am I? Am I in Disney World and all the rides are shut down? Like, what the fuck is this, dude? Like, oh my god, bro. I'm serious as fuck, bro. Like, we have more technology than fucking. I don't even know.
We need to do an ICO for rotary coin. Raise a few $1 million.
But it can't be fucking storytelling time.
Right.
It has to be like, hey, look, man. Look, we're really thinking about doing things. You know, we're really thinking about it. Not just thinking about it. We're thinking about it as we program it, as we design it, as we prototype it, as we change the scaling, as we look at different material behavior. We're doing a little bit more than the next guy. But if we don't finish it, it ain't gonna be worth nothing. So yeah, we need to come to people like, yeah, we want $1 million because we like rotary. No, you stupid fucks. Look, 30 years, 20 years, 2 years, who knows how many years, all the development, all the engineering, all the shit in the world. If you don't smash it into something and do something that the world can appreciate in front of them, you have nothing. That's why it's important to finish everything. That's
exactly.
The first thing I'm gonna do is finish this car, and then we'll set the tone with that, and then it won't be so much talking. It'll be like explaining.
We'll be demonstrating.
Yeah, you know, it speaks for itself. So
I think we should.
If we get there, but we're stuck. We're stuck doing the thing. We cannot upscale. Why? Because every piece is fucking handmade.
Right.
That's the problem. That's what's so good about it, and that's what's so bad about it. Because we're still trying to change the shit after it was made. We're not realizing that we can make it from scratch now. You have nothing to start from, but you do. You have a piece already. That's it. What's important here? That. There you go. That flange is in. You're in. You have the fucking program. You want to block it. You want to make another one. You want to make an adapter plate to put the fucking old school one on here. The sky's the limit when you have that type of capability. We're gonna drag our ass because this, because that, because we don't have the micron level of that shit. Fuck that shit. You think the first airplane had a fucking turbine on it? It has some piece of shit flipping around and whapping around, their wings are breaking off. So today, it's a little different. You can't be thinking like that, man. It's just annoying.
I like what you did here, man.
Thanks, man.
Got some airflow now.
Oh yeah, we definitely got some flow, and it's still strong. I think it's still strong. We can make it stronger if we want. We could add a bead and a rod to it, and it would be stronger. But I don't think that's necessary. I'm gonna bolt that off again, and I'm gonna measure up to make some different brackets. These were the first ones that we had a million holes just to find the right spot. But no, we know the dimensions. They'll just be made out of aluminum, so it weighs less too.
Right.
To finish putting the package together. I like this setup because of the marine application that I have in mind for this setup. Such a small fucking footprint.
Right.
I mean, Jesus, it's 3x3 by fucking 3 for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, what the fuck are you gonna put in a fucking 3-foot square box that's gonna never require maintenance, run for 10 or fucking 20 years, and if we can help it have the gas efficiency, well, that's a tough nut in the package, and it doesn't weigh more than maybe, I don't know, 375, 400 tops. Your lightest outboard is 550 today, unless it's like a 2.5 champ motor, it weighs like 375. That doesn't have reverse, that doesn't have anything, and it's not gonna even compare power-wise. It might rev, but it's gonna be irrelevant. So in that footprint, with that power to weight, and increasing the fuel efficiency, how can you go wrong? Boat would have no parasitic anything. Everything's internalized. Water jacketed components. That's it. Nothing is that small. And it could be that powerful. Because if I can make 600 with a 2-rotor, trying to break it every time I go out and just can't on the 85, wow. You know, the same motor could make twice as much power, but only for segments. But again, we don't know until we try sustaining that power in the water on the dyno. That will be the true test, and that's the only way to know. So if that shit works on land, it's definitely gonna work at sea. So we get the dyno going and try this engine right after the car on the second setup and squeeze it till it breaks. Then we'll know where it breaks.
Right.
If ever. Ideally, it shouldn't break.
Yeah.
If that shit is built correctly, I think the limitation on a 2-rotor engine, not the way that it looks, but the way that we've designed, I think the 2-rotor engine is capable of sustaining about 1,200 horsepower.
Jesus Christ.
Like no bullshit.
That's like a normally aspirated 4-rotor,
for
right?
at least a minute. Or if you go 30 seconds to a minute with 1,000 to 1,200 horsepower with a 2-rotor, you're God. I mean, these things barely go over 800 to 900. Not that they don't go over, they go well above that. They go up to 15 and 1,600 for seconds, and then you got to pick up the pieces.
Right.
So what was the point? No real point there.
Well, trying to run drag strip
You might get away with it, but then how many engines can you fluff to throw away at that level of machining? Like, yeah, we could all go to the junkyard and get a little 10-pack, 50 grand. Okay. Those are stock engines. Those are not milled. Those are not ported. Those are not pinned. Those are not anything. So how many times can you afford a top pro setup? I mean, you're almost like Pro Mod. Make a run, tear everything down. I don't know if that's what these people are into, but it's definitely unjustified by the times. They're going fast, but not if you're breaking 10 engines. Not really. Like, who's gonna win? Whoever has the most engines that can endure the finals. Like,
right.
That's how racing is coming now. Like, I don't know. All the power in the world isn't shit if it grenades and then you lose everything. And just because you could afford to do it again, that's a shitty philosophy, if you ask me. Until we can build better and prove better, we're just another story. So that's how we're gonna change it. Better than I thought. Okay, we can do that. Flow a lot easier. So if you come in with this one, I'll get that turn. Well, I have a straight. I have a straight right there. And then start this 45 right here will be ends up straight going across this section here. Okay. On the inside of these, and that goes straight, this goes underneath, and that goes like this. And I'm getting good at this. And then I gotta take a look at the bottom one, because they're directional the way I'm putting it. That's why I use a Y, not a T. I use a T to shift deadheads and whatever. That shit for flow on oil is a little shitty. This is a lot better, not just for fuel. So if I could route, like it's coming out of the motor, coming this way, I'll use this entrance. But if I use here, it'll just favor here and it'll scavenge there. If you're trying to feed that, that's not good. At high RPM, that shit's gonna starve that cooler. So anyways, we go the other way, we feed this way, and automatically, just by design, it splits automatically. So flow and pressure equal. Pressure will always be equal, but the flow will be a little different. If I could do that one for that one, and then right underneath that one, I could come off for the return, I'll put them twin hoses, twin blocks, scrap them, be done. Everything is just the same. I apologize for such a symmetrical build. I can't help it. Alright, so we'll get it straight on there. And we come back from here, get another 90 right here. And another straight. I wonder if we have straights. First one to open, correct? Because that's the first one going to act on the turbo. However, once that wastegate opens and actuates a certain boost pressure, depends on the gear also how long it's stuck there, like you could actually see it hold. If you had a second gate that opened at a different pressure rate, I don't think you should lose any boost pressure. Obviously, they have to be sized correctly. I'm not saying put two gates this big.
No, what happens is that's the reason why the internal one has to be the first one, that has to be the one to control boost.
Right, so can it be done on the same manifold? Can you put both gates, a back pressure control and a boost control wastegate on the same manifold?
I don't think so.
But that's why I said, you don't think so? By changing the spring rates on one to the other, having one open sooner and then the other one?
I'll explain to you why I don't think so. A, I've never done it that way. But the few times that I've done this, I've always used an internal and a log. A log is being the manifold. The internal one, it's already in the volute. It's already controlling what is passing through the turbine housing, the volute. That reaches a specific velocity and no more. So when you begin to open that one, it slows down the gases to that given velocity, which is a law of physics. You can't exceed that.
Right.
And then that controls the speed of the turbocharger.
Right.
Now, the one that's going to control the back pressure, if you keep on twisting the RPM and way up, not boost, I'm talking about engine RPM.
Right.
Because boost will always be controlled by how much you open that gate or less.
Right.
Okay? As you start to increase the RPM where all of a sudden that volute cannot tolerate or handle anymore, then it's got to escape somewhere else.
Right.
And that's where you give it an outlet so that you maintain the pressure necessary to maintain the velocity through the volute.
Okay. So I think it'll work. As long as they have different pressures, it'll work, because one happens before the other, and the other doesn't happen until one is established. So you never have back pressure until you create power.
You must have one established.
That physical delay in time, or latent heat factor, like, shit takes time to burn, period. So it doesn't burn instantly. However long it takes to burn is the same amount of time that it takes to move. So if you're creating the power first, you do not have back pressure yet. You're creating enough back pressure to create the RPM. When the RPM reaches and you're at your designated ratio, then and only then can you open anything. And as long as it's not at the same time, you should not lose any fucking RPM.
As long as the engine is gaining more
velocity and volume. Correct.
And the velocity
it
keeps
will
increasing,
cancel out.
then you have to open it so you can control the velocity that's traveling through the balloon.
It's a bleed.
It's a bleed.
It's
exactly
a
what it is.
secondary
It's a
bleed.
That's why it just has to be a little
minute, but that's what I'm saying. That's the principle is sound, but the dynamics of delivering that is crucial. Not even critical, it's crucial. This gate has to be little, like one gate has to be a conservative side, and the other one has to be tiny.
Right.
Tiny. Like, and that's where we're. If we had manufacturing capability or CNCing capability, we just scale something down.
But all you really got to do is put a restrictor in the tube going out of the back pressure.
But we're gonna have to do that anyway.
The way that the wastegate works, it's a flap. It's like this.
Right, but the valving will be perfected on a diamond. You know, that's where only place. Like, first of all, we need to be able to measure it.
Like, for instance, on Andrew's car down there, basically what I did was simply, once we had the boost controlled by the ECU.
How much boost was he running? 20?
Not quite.
18.
Like 17.
17, so 18,
Like
the
17.
max 18. And you guys were controlling the back pressure?
Through a boost, a manual thing.
Which was on what gate? Something small?
No, it was one of these. It was one of these because
tiny.
I got pictures of it. It was at the end of where the two pipes came into the megaphone. It got bigger. Then the turner was here. Then I funneled it down. It was right there.
What size was it? 40 or 60?
I'd say at 40.
But you didn't restrict that. You just let that bleed open valve, like whatever it was going to do. And what was the difference when they used that?
That fucking motor just went back to $9 grand. It's the only time that motor's ever hit that kind of RPM. They even went to a 145, and Andrew called me and said, even with that little turbine housing that you put on it, no, my engine has never gone past 8,000. Except for when you did it, that you used to control and just keep on fucking pulling, you know,
right.
9, 10, whatever.
Were they measuring the EGTs on that shit or not?
Yeah, they have shit.
No?
There was so much pressure in the system that the primaries got so hot that they, because I sent them the little tabs to weld between the collector and the thing, and they didn't because they put the collector solid on the chassis. The pipes melted and separated.
What turbo was that? S300 or an
No,
EFR?
man, an EFR 90 whatever, 9180. Thing, wait, I'm telling you, man.
Dual scroll?
That car, yeah.
Twin scroll?
Twin scroll with a .83 turbine housing. And
that's integral?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's big. It's like almost 40 millimeters or 38 or something. It's like
external or integral?
Internal. Internal. Huge fucking wastegate. And that car would come on, and you could
but that's a raised turbo.
Pull the front end right off the ground and all the way to the front straight. That's the only time that we could see it. It would just like lift the front end and sounded beautiful, ran beautiful.
Was it running gas or race?
E85.
E85?
Oxygenated E85.
Cam.
Yeah, they bring it in that turbo.
You can't have that shit in a container. Alright, well, I mean, I keep thinking about it because...
That's perfect right there.
We need to do two versions though, because what if you can't get it there? No, I'm just laying it there because I don't want to hold it. What I'm saying is there's space, dead center in that manifold, and it's not in the way of anything.
Yeah, if you put it right in the middle of both housings.
Look, the middle of both is right there. Especially if we're going to do that shield right here, all the way down.
I'd actually put this thing at a 90.
I mean, you could, I'm saying I'm just laying it on there because of piece, but you got all that space. All that space.
That's a great idea. I like it.
And again,
that manifold flows.
When we first made that downpipe, we were pointing it and we didn't have nothing to point it at. So we kind of just went with like centering it to the hole, but that's not favorable when you got other parts now that are not, you know, jiving with that. So that's why this downpipe is done and done, but we're gonna make a much more nicer, more streamlined one with that flange and the rest of the parts because they're gonna not everybody's gonna want to buy a muffler. So we'll just make it with the thing and then just add the muffler right after. But for the sake of the picture, you know what I mean? Like a flange and a pipe, 200. How much did you sell your downpipe for the RX8 twin turbo? 350, wasn't it? And that was just one pipe, right? Flange, one pipe. Have a nice day.
But the thing was that everybody had that turbo.
Well, yeah, but that was for the factory downpipe. But I'm just saying, it's worth.
Yeah.
If you're a guy like me, and I just put a turbo in my car, and I need to put a downpipe on it, I could assume I'm gonna pay $300.
And that was because it was a mild steel pipe. If it was a stainless steel pipe, with somebody established name on it, like a Grady or something like that, it would have been 600, 650.
That's what I mean. It depends. Like, you won't know who wants what until you sell the first part. And they're gonna tell you, man, you don't have this and this? Not yet. Why, you want that? I don't know. What I'm saying is, let the sales steer. I don't want to be steering the sale before it even has happened. I want somebody I want a part that is affordable, and I want a part that we can make money at the same time. If that thing is worth anything, we have the business right there.
Did you talk to them about that one customer, whatever, was asking whether or not to put a wastegate on the actual exhaust manifold?
Yeah, that's what
if you opt not with this turbo, and the turbo you decide does not have an internal wastegate,
they're fucked.
You're stuck with this manifold because there's no boost control so far. But we can accommodate that by having a dead-headed cap that you could extend into a wastegate pipe, back control pressure pipe, whatever you want from there. So instead of making the manifold dead-headed like that with only one flange, we'll, no matter what, make it with a flange to the back, one version, or a flange to the top to run it like this. And give the customer the option, because it's not like you're gonna stock a million manifolds. You want that one? We don't have any of that one? Tomorrow, that one will be done.
The bottom line is this. This is the only manifold that exists that doesn't put the turbo up here.
Right.
That's it.
Over the radiator.
And my whole idea, which was basically engineer as you go, was to use this turbocharger because I like it because it performs like a badass motherfucker and you can't kill it. But
and it's cheap.
That doesn't mean that, you know, somebody else is going to want a different turbo.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I put both bolt patterns. So yeah, it's a great idea to have a fucking external wastegate option on there. They can either cap it or
use
not.
it as whatever they decide.
You know?
Cool.
When I did it, I had no idea it was going to fit. I mean,
So question, do we want to leave this alone like this and just finish? Or do we want to take that back off and get into that? I think that we should do that same thing and look at it here and do it on that one. And get that one and put it on here and rejig it right now that we have it and make that one this new idea. So we can leave the flange to the back on this one.
You already made another manifold like this?
Huh?
You already made another manifold?
Not yet, no.
But you just got the parts.
The parts are there. It's a couple cuts, a couple plates.
Yeah, now you've done it once, right?
Well, look, wait a second. Since we're doing that, and we already got the jig, we can
make them both.
We can continue with this as you are, so we don't lose any more time.
Right.
Because this valve basically has to fit between the turbine housing and the compressor housing. So all we gotta do is put a turbo like this, which we have a couple, on that manifold. Once it's done, and place the valve right there.
Well, that way we do it on the car here.
But why?
Because this is the one that is going to go on when we sell it. It's for the RX8, right?
Yeah, and then you gotta rip the whole thing down again.
No, it's just 4 bolts. Everything's loose there, man. Nothing's going
I want to get this bitch going.
Me too, but what I'm saying is we can.
More time, bro. You're better off just right now, take the time, get it, and that's it.
Right, but what I'm saying is we're not gonna finish it on the car. What I want to do is take this one off, tack this one on, finish that other one, and just leave one done with this thing, even if we don't use it on this car.
A light, flashlight. Seriously, there is so much fucking room. I mean, don't forget that I eyeballed this whole fucking mess.
Well, look. This is so simple. We're fucking over sweating it.
Exactly.
Listen, all we need to do is put the pipe there with a flange and let the person run from there. Yeah, you're done.
That's it.
We're not worried about nothing else. You can angle it, you can turn it, you can twist it. I was worried that you wanted to sit the whole thing on there like by eye.
Bro, like
no,
that.
we leave a flange with a neck and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, and a cap.
And a cap.
There,
exactly.
you're done. There.
And they can either put the fucking thing on or not.
Yeah, you do like an inch or two, little riser off of that. That's it. Done. Yeah. No, we're done.
Oh yeah, I know. What?
It's gonna be done, bro. It's an electronic gadget that's gonna have to do it, you know? I mean, look at this thing. We don't have a few gadgets? I think we're beyond the gadget boundary line. You know?
I know, but you know.
What I'm saying is no one's done that.
Call me old school, call me whatever the fuck you want. You know, these things have an Achilles heel, which is overheating.
Right.
I don't trust. I want overheating to be like redundantly impossible.
Right, but I'm just saying for the sake of space and on a full, I mean, whatever. It's just another method.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. But I don't know if you never needed belts or never needed drives. I guess you would come up with something else.
I mean, you still need.
All you're driving here, if you didn't
need to drive the fucking alternator.
come together over here. Put those together from over there. Straight. That one's comes. This is the top one. I have to make these hoses. It's hard to see all these hoses without having them done. That's how that goes. And with a straight here, a straight, another straight, that's 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 straights. And that's done. That's the top one. 3 there. And then the lower. This is the upper. This should be the lower. But I'm going to have to do this one like this. So I'm trying to figure out right now. I'm trying to see what hoses is right there.
Could someone keep the existing factory setup there, or you don't recommend it?
No. I mean, the lines are not, they don't compare. Like, you're not going to move the volume. And if everything's about volume, when you're trying to cool, if you move a quart through a gigantic cooler, you move 5 gallons through it. You're obviously moving 5 gallons, so it cools it more moving a quart.
Yeah.
You have to have the fluid moving. And the line is so small that it's moving and it stays so high, you're not doing anything by moving it.
Right.
This is a lot larger than that whole line set everywhere.
Yeah.
So I think that's a plus. But I mean, a lot of people could argue a lot of different things.
Well, like in states or climates that are cooler, where you don't need so much cooling or whatever.
Well, you're always going to need cooling on a Mazda as long as it's on Earth, no matter where you are.
So this is for the engine.
Yeah.
Oil does.
The oil,
which cools more of the engine, the oil or the radiator?
On a Mazda, the oil more.
Really?
Don't get me wrong, you could fuck up anything on the water cooling on the Mazda, destroy it just as good, but a Mazda normally runs 10 to 20 degrees more heat on the oil than any other engine. That's because it has too many surface areas touching the oil that are hot, whereas a car only has the piston. Like, it's hot.
Yeah, I'm learning something new,
Every day.
I don't know, I don't like that shit over there, man. I'm too fucking picky is the problem.
Where is it coming in and out of the engine at?
It's coming out of the front cover right here, and it's going in at the filter base back there. Okay. It's coming out of here, it's going out of the bottom there, and gonna feed into these 2 coolers. But I don't like that thing splitting that way. I like it to split like this, if anything at all. Maybe I can get away with that here for the 45 to this side. The problem is that there's lines in the way. There's always something in the way. Here, the shit's in the way. It has to be right there. I'm gonna put a tie strap just to hold it there the whole time. Or whatever. So let's just stick it right here. going right there. It's always gonna be there. I guess I'm just gonna have to make the lines and start making it because I can't see shit. Every time I put it up there, I see the same shit and I can't make something.
Over here at Extreme Auto, checking on the progress of the 07 Miata. Obviously got hit back here. Had to replace the rear section and part of the quarter panel and the trunk lid. It's coming along nicely. All the dents and dings have been repaired. Hood painted. It's gonna get another coat when everything's assembled. Everything fixed. This car is gonna be like brand new when I'm done with it. Since it's got 100,000 miles on it, when this engine goes, we're gonna put a rotary in here, one of our kit rotaries. Check out the bumper. It's already painted, looking good. The front bumper, this needed some work. It got hit in the front too. And the hood. Pretty happy the way everything's coming along here. These guys are pros. You know.
Vision's going up.
Like a glove?
Sort of. Very close. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Goes straight to jail.
Yeah.
Or free
You
parking.
must be the Monopoly guy.
I'll see if I'm going to reduce it or I'm going to just get a 4-inch first and then get like a 90-degree 4-inch pipe, fit it in there, get the angle right, chop it, twist it, turn it, cheat it, and then reduce it somewhere further down. I like larger downpipes for rotaries.
Yeah.
A rotor is a two-stroke. You ever had a two-stroke? You've seen a fat pipe makes big power and it has good top. All these small downpipes and stuff, even though considered a 4-stroke, it does make a difference when it comes down the pipe. I believe a larger exhaust creates a pipe effect, like on the 2-stroke.
Right.
I had a ridiculous size 4-inch downpipe on my car one time, and that thing behaved pretty weird. Like I had the rest of, like the back half of the exhaust wasn't complementing the first. Like the first was really free flowing and the back half was really choked out. But when I realized that I took the back half off and just ran that pipe alone, wow, it was loud, but man, it drove good. Usually drive something with just a pipe and it's loud, but it drives like shit. It makes a lot of power, but it drives like shit. It drove really good. I thought it might have had to do with like the back pressure, like what we were talking about. It's more critical on this engine than on an average piston engine because of what I just said. It reacts and it behaves like a 2-stroke engine, suffering from poor timing and things like this nature. So, and this is just keeping it on a basic side port footprint. If you go semi or you go our custom periph, or something like that, I mean, you're just opening up Pandora's box with making power and sustaining it. We can make the power, and everyone else can too, but we want to sustain it. So that's our next goal, to be able to make, you know, 1,000 horsepower setup, whether you want to street it or put it in a chassis car and go a little faster. But not break, not break. Take 100, make a guarantee for like 100 to 10 to 100 passes. Now, if you got that, that's worth buying. That's worth paying for. I would buy that.
Right.
We can leave this shit on permanently, and that will be done. Because I want to fill this thing up with oil, maybe to turn it over and see if we have ignition and injection. If we have those two, and now we have that cable for the computer, correct?
Yep.
So we're good there. We're getting where we want to be, having a lot less shit to put on the car. If every day there's just less shit to put on here, we'd be alright. Got the gray juice out of there. I just put a little thin ass fucking touch on it. Let that dry. You see.
You need the compressor on?
Yeah.
Is that working all right today?
I'm just gonna tack it.
Magnifico.
While you're,
Usually those wires are expensive as fuck.
I don't think so. I think they were like 15 bucks or less. The dash 10 Ys. I gotta check, but it wasn't. It was like the size of a person fitting. It worked out, and we're done. Because then now if I change the coolers, I left ample line to be able to reach the ends. So we'll just switch the coolers if the fans fit when it's time for that. In the meantime, we'll just get it going and get the motor turned over because I couldn't put any oil in it until this. So I still need that flare female with the male hanging with the NPT to put the hob, because I have it wired for pressure on ignition, oil pressure.
Yeah.
You understand? But I don't know, because is that going to put me out too far? I can do it right here. I could put that, I could rewire this trigger to here. You see what I'm saying here? But then here is gonna fuck me up too. Actually, I might have to go to back there.
You can drill it right there, right on top of it.
Huh?
You can drill it on top of it.
Drill trap what? The cooler?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather not.
Or any of the banjo fittings.
I don't,
Do we have any banjo fittings left in the system?
no. No, but that's what I'm saying. That same thing that I'm telling you, here it makes it too long, but if I put it on that back plate, it doesn't matter there. It's not in the way there.
Because this is not really part of the cooler. This is kind of like on it.
Right, but I don't want to.
This is just a fucking thermostat. This comes right off.
Right, but I don't want to fuck with that either.
I would take them both out so that they're full flow. If you get an Earl's cooler or a Starab or anything like that, they're full flow end to end. This is just a
Wait till the
thermostat.
temperature, right?
You know, yeah. I mean, seriously, I would take them out, take the insides out, so it just goes boop boop in and out.
Empty them.
Yep. You know what? I got one of these things in the back. Let me take a look at it because they might just go like this.
I really don't want to
without
fuck with
being
any of
turned.
that.
Hang on a second.
That's an exhaust leak.
Oh, yeah.
That's what that can never do. Those
What,
clamps
the,
can never do that. The
what are they
V-band,
called? V-bands? Yeah.
V-band clamp can't do that because it has this. They fit into each other,
Right.
mouth to mouth, edge to edge. They're machined as a lip. Once that thing snaps together and this thing tightens down, it's not physically possible for exhaust to leak. Whereas this, it could always crack, it always mess up, and warp. So you tighten it down real good, and all you're doing is bending the flange. Not only that, but you need an exhaust gasket every single fucking time that this thing acts up.
Right.
Never
You don't need a
ending.
gasket.
Ever. Ever. If you use this, put it on, and take it off the car 100 times, it's gonna cost you however much time it takes you, and sweat. Here's gonna cost you time, sweat, gasket maker, a gasket, and then
And
the
even
bolts.
then it fails.
And then the bolts that fall, get tight, rust, they don't come off, they seize, they break in half.
Yeah, fuck that.
It's ridiculous, dude. Like, why? I wouldn't bother. You want this, homie? Save this thing? But what I'm saying is, like, everything that we're trying to do, I don't want to machine, drill, this, that. I want to be like, look, I'm sending you this. Disconnect that and connect this in the way and hook up 2 lines to it. That's it.
This is what you're looking for, but in a 10.
Right, exactly, in a 10. Right. 1/8 inch MPT, flare, female, with a male sticking out.
Those struts don't have that?
I think so. I didn't want to get parts that I knew I might not end up needing. Cause we didn't decide to do that till last week Thursday. Where do you get your relays from too? Like 12-volt relays, out of part or wherever?
When I need a relay, I go to New Jersey.
They have them? New Jersey has relays?
Yeah, they got washed.
We'll just
I used to get the
Tyco?
the base with all the wires of this Puerto Rican dude, but he disappeared.
yeah, cause I'm looking at a few. I gotta do the double throttle, the oil pressure, the radiator fans, and the AC fans,
That probably would be best
and the fuel pumps.
to get them online and get,
That's what I'm saying. And now look how many I need. I need a few. I don't need 2 or 3. I need 5 or 10, right? And I don't want to get huge 20 amp things because not everything needs a 20 amp circuit. So I'm trying to see what's the best solution all across the board to fix that. Because I already got 2 relays right there. I'm gonna add 3 more. That's gonna be like a small condominium in space. I gotta move them out of there, tuck them away, hide them somewhere.
This guy from Sweden that was here on Monday got a company out there in Sweden to take this rack because for the type of racing that they're doing, it's rally. I mean, but the rules are like really weird.
What did he make, a mechanical vernier?
They basically cut it off right here, made a rack, or rather made a tube with the rack, extended this tube, picked it up just like that.
Right.
He got charged a little bit more money than he wanted to because he got the rights to it, but now he
He could do whatever he wants with it now.
hydraulic, not electric.
So he retrofit something onto the existing half?
Exactly.
Wow.
I don't know if they whacked it off here or they used this flange and went straight through. But